Oh boy, what's the right age to move out of mommy and daddy's house? Comment section below. I want to know, what do you think is the right age, the prime age to move out of mommy and daddy's house? Stick around. I'm going to let you know what the right age is. Don't you worry. Here we go. Okay, so, wow. You're 17, you're 18. You're like, I hate this friggin' place. My parents suck. Bing, bing, bong. Okay, well, moving out sounds easy on paper, but when is the right time? And I don't think there's a universal right time. It all depends. It all depends. Depends. I don't know. So I could tell you my situation. I will do that. But when do you think is the right time? I mean, did you move out yet? Hopefully you did, you lazy son of a bitch. But maybe you haven't. I know people who've moved out of their parents' homes at 17, literally, and never came back. I know people who moved out of their homes. Well, I know people who are 40 and have not moved out of mommy and daddy's house. So is 17 the right age? Is 40 the right age? Is 50 the right age? 60, right? I mean, like, what's the right age? And then you have kind of a gray area. It's like you moved out, but you kind of didn't move out, kind of sort of moved out. So there's that problem. So I know that the context matters. So you can't, again, it's not a one size fits all. So I think the number one thing I would say is, are you happy, living with your parents? You know what I mean? Are you and your parents, do you guys get along? Let's just say that, because if you and your parents don't get along, well, that makes things a little bit more problematic. You know what I mean? So I think getting along matters. If you're happy and your parents are happy with you there and you're not causing any problems and you're contributing to the house, or whatever it may be, but you and your parents are happy, hey, live there till you're friggin' 110. However, if your parents aren't happy or you're not happy, then you got a problem. And or you want to have your own kind of life and you want to do what you want to do, as a young man or young woman, you want to have the special person over, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, most Americans, and it's different, cultures are different out there, right? In some cultures, the woman stays home until she gets married, or even in America too. I mean, generally speaking, yeah, women move out, girls move out too, but generally speaking, it's a little more socially acceptable for a woman to stay home longer than a boy or a man. Are you joining the military? I mean, my brother left the house at 18, you know what I mean? And never came back. He did, so I don't know, is 18 the right now? So it all depends on context, right? Are you going to the military? Are you going to college and sleeping away? Is that considered moving out? I think too, money matters, right? Maybe you do want to move out, but moving out's expensive. It's always been expensive, but now it's more expensive. I mean, you have to, in some places, apartment complexes, you have to show $100,000 cash liquidity in a bank and your W-2s, W-9s, or whatever, like, where are you going to live? If you live in someone's basement, renting a room, that's going to be easier than going into a luxury apartment complex or buying a home or buying a condo. So money matters. You have to have a decent job, which means you're out of college or out of trade school, and you're probably in your early 20s at earliest, 22, something like that, 23, and you're probably maybe going to share an apartment. So, age, I think at earliest, generally speaking, you're looking at 22, 23, and you're going to get some rinky-dink apartment. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that would be that. But I mean, also, are you taking care of your parents or parent? Like, literally, right? Then it's hard for you to move out. Because I know people who make a lot of money, who make, over $300,000 a year, and they choose to live with their parents because they need the help of that person. They're the only child, or they're the only child that can help, or maybe you, the child, maybe you're an adult, but you have special needs, or you're not physically capable of moving out. So it all matters. It all depends. You got religion, society, money, physical, mental. Maybe you're not mentally right, honestly. So it's assuming all things are perfect and you want to move out, your parents love you, but you want to do your own thing. I think, and you went to college, you're a hard worker. You're not someone's like, I went to college, everybody owes me something. Like, you're a hard worker, or you're 22, 23, and you got 5 jobs. I think early 20s you can move out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that are you ready? So I think the money talks. We know that. I think your relationship with your parents matter. Are you comfortable moving out? And there's a smart way to move out and leave, and there's a reckless way, right? You can't be like, fuck you, I'm leaving. And you're like 17, 18. You're coming right back. You know what I mean? So I know for me, I wasn't ready to move out until I was 29, about 30. I had a little bit of, I commuted to college. I lived with a friend for a little bit, but I didn't like it. I wanted to go back home. And so, I just, my home life was good. I got along with my parents. My parents got along with me. We were good. You know what I mean? I helped my parents financially while I was there. And so I moved out at 29. But when I moved out, this is just my story. When I moved out, before I moved out, I didn't piss away, high school graduation till 29 years old doing nothing. I worked 3, 4, 5 jobs. I put myself through college, cash, no help from mommy, daddy, no help from the government, no loans, nobody forwarded me money. So I was grinding and working in those, about that 10-year mark, So when I was 29, I went out and I bought 2 condos in the same day. So, you know what I mean? I made it count that I was staying home, And so when I moved out. I became a homeowner and a landlord on the same day. So, so I would say anybody living with your parents, if things are lined up right, they don't need you, you don't need them, but you just want to move out because you want to move out, work hard, save up if you can, buy something if you can, or just make sure you have that nest egg that when you do move out, you're not going to have to move back in. Don't live above your means. Make sure you have a good job, good training, something like that. So that was my story. I moved out at 29, but again, everyone's different. Maybe you move out at 33, maybe you move out at 21, whatever. Context, situation, social norms, money matters. I mean, you're 18, you're sitting on $1 million, and you do what you want. You want to stay home, stay home. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I think those things matter. What about you? Did you leave the house yet? You fucking loser. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Did you leave, earlier? Are you still there? Are you leaving later? Like, what's your story? What do you think's the right time to leave and go? Tony's Topics, like, subscribe. I am DJ Tony. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.